All right, this next one is, who sent this in? Let me check real quick. I want to see what they had to say. Check chat. Okay, this was from Rad Robot. This is Bellona solo against an Achilles. He's usually confident in this matchup as he has a lot of hours on both those gods, but he had a very awkward game, okay? That he's usually a diamond level player. He had some trouble with weird fights and got caught out proxying. Strange little skirmishes and awkward team fights. Knowing when to fight is a problem with him for this game. And he said target prioritization was awkward. And relic usage. And trouble ending. Okay. Fair enough. We'll give it a look. Check it out. You Rad Robot. It was long, yeah. Feel free to skip around. All right. Starting off the bat, you probably know you're against Achilles. It could be Umoja and like Achilles support, but I'm fine with the start. I think it's good. If you ever feel like you're in a matchup where it may go a little bit weird and it is a physical, then just go extra pots. Also depends on your playstyle, like what you want to do. If you just want to farm the wave and then back for your berserkers as soon as possible, then this is a fine start. A lot of people just sit here. Like, you guys need to make use of your... Like, you could, like, really, if you wanted to, get really crazy and make use of your TP and just, like, walk around the map and then use your TP. The thing is, you want to TP back in with berserkers as soon as possible, so you probably shouldn't waste your TP, but you should be scouting and looking around the map. Like, look in the jungle, see if somebody's going to invade. Look towards their side of the map, see what people are doing, and just always be on the lookout, because no one's going to out-trade you with your build, for one. They're not going to try and kill you. Like, at this point in the game, they're not. Everyone just kind of sits in lane, but you should be making use of your time and be like scouting or doing something. You're playing Bellona, so I would literally walk up to the wave and group it up at the tower line and kill it. I'd be at the tower line right now with it. You also want to group up the wave with your bludgeon there and just focus on the wave so you can make it to your blue buff. Fine. Just go to your blue. Don't have to worry about it. Looks like your Geb invaded. I would have gone to their blue buff. Your Thanatos will hit 2 off of this. This is kind of a small thing, but I would have gone to their blue buff and messed with the jungler and their Achilles, because your Thanatos would have hit 2 off of it, and you could be at their blue buff ready to invade it. I'm interested to see where the Thanatos goes. If you're in comms with him, you should tell him to go to the blue buff. If he doesn't go there, then... Yeah, this is like... The Geb literally followed the jungler to the blue buff to make sure that they can get it, but now the Achilles is just going to solo it because you're not going there, you're doing totem, and your Thanatos isn't going there. So actually make use of the invade and put somebody behind. You're putting their jungler behind, but you could be putting their jungler and their solo behind. And then in this matchup, it's pretty volatile, obviously. So if he doesn't have a blue buff, you're going to really mess with him. So even though he's losing minions in lane right now, I'm pretty sure he soloed his blue buff, so... Maybe Set was there. I'm not really sure. Or whoever the jungler was. It's not Set. But yeah, since you already have minions at his tower line, you just want to keep up this pressure and make sure you get every totem. You don't have a ton of early kill potential on Bellona. You just have really good wave clear. Unless he literally tanks the minions at his tower line and kills himself. But yeah, everything so far so good. One small thing, and I even need to get better at this, but when you have pressure like this, notice where you are standing in the lane. You're standing like right here. See where I'm like pointing with the cursor? And you're looking into his tower line. The best thing that you can do, now again, this isn't probably going to happen because their jungler is already behind, but the best thing you can do is stand over here and look into the jungle, because then you can see people coming out from the jungle and have better vision. They won't like come behind you and flank you because you can't see them. Just allow you to make better decisions. You need to hit the archers here. Just focus on the archers when you do wave clear like that. Thank you.
It's hot.
Okay. I have some pizza chat while we watch this. So yeah, just focus on wave clear and getting totems. You want to get them as soon as possible so you can get them on cooldown for these keybinds. Console, I don't know. Pizza time. Bellona's really good at getting totems just because she has so much early wave clear pressure and stuff. So There's one more minion. Kill that minion. I would wait. I would get enough gold for Berserkers plus Chalice just because you have so much pressure. You don't need to rush your Berserkers right now. You still have pots that can keep you safe in lane. Make sure that you don't lose pressure. So that's what you end up doing then good. You saw that Achilles TP'd in. You either need to, you can't write it down obviously because this is console, but just keep a mental note of the timer on that, the TP cooldown, so you know when it's back up. You know it'll be down for a while now, so any pressure that you get will be permanent pressure, if that makes sense. You'll have to back and lose something for it. And I'm assuming, unless I'm wrong, I'm assuming he TP back in without a full item. So now that you have a full item over him, nice little chalice trick. Can't do that next patch, but now that you have a full item on him, I want to see you play really aggressive because I'm assuming he only has boots too, or like tier 1 glad shield. There's no way he had enough gold for it. So I want you to play really aggro. You haven't clicked tab yet, so I still don't know. That's one thing I've always noticed when watching people is you don't click tab enough. Like keep an eye on power spikes and seeing what people are doing. Ambitious ult for sure. I think you're gonna outtrade him just because you have a power spike over him, but I don't know if you know that. Like I don't know if you know that he doesn't have a full item. You probably do, but if you hit the bludgeon after your ult, he would even be lower, so I don't really mind this. You can't do the chalice trick next patch because it cancels the chalice. See? Okay, you click tab finally. That's the first time you click tab. So like he doesn't have a full item. He also has a mana pot. That's just not good. Maybe he assumed he was gonna lose his blue buff, so maybe that's why. But this is where, again, you did play pretty aggro, so I'm happy with that. But always click tab to see your power spikes and see what people are doing. Whenever somebody TPs in, the first thing you should do is click tab, see what they have, see what pots they have and stuff. So. Seemed like you kind of just assumed you had a power spike on him, or you wanted to play aggro anyway because you just had a chalice going and you just bought your berserkers. But yeah, just always be looking for that. Tab. I would have liked to also see you grab a ward just so you can get a timer on their blue buff, just because you have so much pressure through your support and just your wave clear and how the lane's going. You guys don't really have a timer on their blue buff right now, and again with like even the last gameplay, but any gameplay that you have, one of the best ways to keep getting ahead is to farm the enemy blue buff. That's just, I mean, you do get less XP when it's the enemy blue buff because of that change in the middle of the season or whatever that they did. But the thing is, you're taking away their own blue buff as well. So if you can get both blue buffs, it's just that much better. So now you have a time, you see the blue buff is up. See the Morgans here. I don't really mind this at all because you're not going to run out of mana with Berserkers, so I actually like playing really aggro here. You have kill potential on the Morgan, but you're kind of in between, it seems like. No way you ever die here. This is good. I really like what you're doing. Playing super aggro with your power spikes. You're going to have to ult this. I like that you're saving your ult. You're playing this mechanically well. I would have probably popped my pots a little bit earlier. If you had, look how long you fought without having your pots going. Now, it's not going to be the same next patch, but if you had multi-pots next patch, it's pretty much the same. If you pop this chalice here and your other health pot, you fought them in your 1 or your 3 so that they don't trade as hard with you because you're healing through your 3 or they're not hitting auto attacks in your 1. You actually would have messed with them. You would have jerked them off for so long. And you could have easily killed this Morgan, I think, if you prioritized her a little bit better originally. So mechanically, I think you played it fine, apart from not popping your pots. At least right there. But I think originally if you hit your bludgeon on her, you would have killed her. So definitely pop those pots. That would have made the biggest difference there. I think you would have fought them a lot better. Only thing I don't like about that is that none of your team rotated. And if they rotated into a Berserker's Shield Bellona with double pots going at 6 minutes in the game, you guys would have killed everyone. Just because that Achilles was behind. He didn't really have a lot of kill pressure on you. Neither does Morgan at level 4. So... I probably would have also ulted in place once I knew that I was pretty much dead. You're not going to really ult out there ever. So I would have used my ult at some point. Probably to kill the Morgan. In fact, let's go back real quick. So you know Morgan's level 4 when she's coming over here, right? You go to their blue buff with the intention of messing with her because you dash on her. Alright, so you hit your dash on her. At this point, I would have used my my 3 just for extra damage, and then I would use my 2, so I would have gotten the extra damage off the Achilles, and then I would have actually tried to use it on her. And I would have probably just ulted her and just kept going on her to really mess with her. They're not going to out-trade you at that point, and if you have your double pots going, then I think you would have been chilling. Alright, let's go back ahead. So now you're actually behind the Achilles. You have a lot of minions to kill, so I guess you'll be fine, but it's a good thing they didn't get your blue buff off of that, because they got their own blue buff, and then while you did that, your own blue buff was up, so you could have had a potential like reverse of what was supposed to happen, getting both blues. They could have gotten both blues, and you would have been in a little weird spot. The good thing about Berserkers is that you don't really need blue because it gives you so much mana, but I think against a good Achilles, I would actually max my 3 as Bellona, because Achilles should out-trade Bellona pretty hard, and he can interrupt your 2. So I'd probably actually max my 3. Your 3 is really, like, it's fine wave clear, and it allows you to trade really hard because you heal so much with Berserkers plus your 3. And if your control layout makes it really hard for you to pop these in the middle of a fight, then I would change it. Because that's really important, being able to pop pots in the middle of a fight while things are happening. It also might have just been something that you forgot about, which is bad. But try and keep that in mind. You always want to have pots going. Even if you have to double pop your chalice on accident, like that's better than having no pots going in a fight that could have potentially saved you and gotten you kills, you know? It's one of the worst things is when you don't pop a pot because of you just forget about it. It could have saved you. Always have that going. I like that you're proxying here. Nobody's gonna want to mess unless they like 3-man gank you again. Even if you play it correctly, it would be really hard for them to even kill you. But even if they 3-man ganked you, like I like that you're proxying. Just a ton of pressure. That's a final, honestly. Keep them catch them off guard, and you kind of barely missed her, but. Because the further they go into tower, the more unlikely it is for you to actually hit them. So it's good rotation. I mean, this is kind of the opposite of what the guy did last game. He was rotating without clearing his wave. You even proxied and then rotated. So every time you proxy, you basically get 40 seconds of just a free rotation, doing whatever you want. You can go for the back camps. You can go to a mid lane fight like you just did. You could proxy even again and gain even more pressure and just be really annoying. But that was a good rotation in mid. You helped your team get kills, so well played. And even though it maybe put you a little bit behind because you're missing the waves, this wave, just because you took a while to get back to your lane, it was still a good rotation and helped you get kills. It's better than being stuck in lane, that's for sure. You knew that their backs were up as well, so that's something that you could have maybe gone for. Yeah, focus on pushing the wave. You don't have Achilles in the lane. Whenever somebody isn't in the lane, you kind of want to clear the wave so that you can push into the tower. You never know where they could be on the map. Plus, it just allows you to have the pressure for totem, because they're not going to let the wave die in their tower while they do totem, right? He has to go clear the wave right now. He's actually missing this wave. This is a misplay by him, so this is good. Because it makes them make a decision of whether or not to contest totem or clear the wave, and they should go for the wave, which gives you a free totem. Like that you're fighting in your 1, but I'd probably just clear the wave now. Probably clear that. I would probably just mechanically like clear all the minions first with my bludgeon, and then use my 3 just so I don't have to worry about him hitting me. This is one of those matchups where Achilles should never really be able to execute you just because... What is this? He should never really be able to execute you just because you always have your ult 2 ults over it. And Bellona ult's a 75-second cooldown, so should always be up for it. Thing is, this is kind of just useless trading. I would just clear the wave. People, I've noticed a lot of people just... They like to trade with the wave still up. Just clear the wave first. That way you may have wave pressure over them, but at least you get your farm before you do it. Missed a lot of autos. Honestly, the combination of missed abilities and autos would have probably helped you trade a lot better. Like, you'd probably be even in this trade. See, this is why I probably wouldn't max my 3. He's actually doing it correctly now. He's interrupting every one of your 2s. This is basically just sound cue or watching him. Hey, you healed through it anyway. Yeah, That was really noob by Achilles. He's out of mana now and he doesn't have a blue buff. You actually have kill potential as long as you hit things. Fortunate. But a lot of this has just been pretty useless fighting. You're never really going to kill each other. It's going to be really hard for you to kill him. He has way too much sustain. And he's never really going to kill you because you can always ult over it. So I would just literally ignore him. I would literally clear the wave and then walk into jungle and be annoying. Because now you're doing the thing where you're kind of getting stuck in lane trying to trade. In this matchup, it's going to be really hard for you to actually kill each other, like I said. So how long is this game? It's 42 minutes. Okay. He did say that he had a lot of trouble. It felt awkward in the team fights, so I'm going to start getting to the team fights. Looks like he died there. This is what I'm talking about. Ignore him. You're going to proxy the wave. This is good. This is going to give you a lot more of a window to do things than just sitting there and hitting him. But he's coming to actually stop you proxying. That's bad by him. His team's here. You can kill this Morgan. This is just knowing whether you can kill them. Your bludgeon's coming back up. I would try and kill this Morgan. You're not going to get out here. This should hit really hard. You backed away from it. That's the second time you've done that, where you like faded away as you're bludgeoning. I would have just tried to kill this Morgan. You're kind of in between. You're using abilities on them. You're kind of not. You're kind of walking away. Like, you need to commit to something. You are getting their left tier 1 for this, which is good. But you could also have gotten a kill. I don't think you should have ever died there. I think you could have killed Morgan. You need to like really decide. You know, lay down the law and decide what you want to do. You're either going to try and get out completely, or you're going to try and kill her completely. Choose one. Don't be in between ever. I would just commit. Can't be half-assing it, you know. Honestly, in every single one of those situations, as you're getting better as a player, I would just try and kill them. I would literally just sit there and try and 1v3. Because the worst case scenario is you get them pretty low, you force them to sit there for an extra like 10 seconds while they fight you, while your team can do other stuff on the map because they have 3 people there. And even in that worst case scenario, you're going to learn how you can play it in the next time. And maybe, because one of the biggest things with solo lane and being a tank is knowing when you can kill people and when you're tanky enough to deal with them, for them to not to kill you. So if you just sit there and trade with them and try and kill that Morgan, like, you're at least going to learn a little bit more about when you can trade people and when you can survive and everything. So what do you learn from running away? Oh, you learn that if you get 3-man rotated on when you're proxying, maybe you just try and run away. No. If you're playing a character like this that's really good in this early game and can trade with people, just fight them. Just go beads. I don't know if I agree with the beads. I mean, they do have a decent amount of CC, but you're Bellona. If you just go a bit of CCR, you already have CCR in your mystical mail. But if you go a bit of CCR and just go something like Blink or maybe even Horrific or something, just be super aggro with, you're going to get a lot more done. Like, who cares if they kill you? If you're able to get on their backline and initiate a fight and cause trouble, your job's done. Even if they turn around and CC chain you and kill you, you should have a good fight because of it. Just because your job is to get on their backline. Be annoying. No, I think the mystical mail is fine. You did say, yeah, you said in your message that you wanted just like see how it is going into season 7, which is part of the reason it's going to be good is that it's cheaper now, so it's a little bit weird, but I mean, it's still fine. It's not a bad item. Not the worst item ever on Bellona, especially with the build that you're going. You're going more auto attack and getting on their backline, or at least you should be trying to. So you have a tower down because of that long gank that they had on you, which is good. This frees you up a little bit, but one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is once the tower is down, they think that they should just be rotating nonstop. You should still be pushing the wave up here. You should keep pushing this wave at the tower line. I like this ward that you have. You see a little gank before it comes and decide what you want to do. But make sure that you keep pushing this wave at the tower line, so you keep having someone over there to defend it. It always it's not really the tower that makes up the rotation useful. It's the fact that somebody has to be there to defend the tower. So as long as you keep pushing it up there, then I'm happy with this. Because the only thing that this is going to do, if you don't keep pushing it and you just keep roaming around here, is that this Achilles can get back in the game by farming waves and pushing, maybe even reverse pushing it into tower. Now you have a whole wave over there that can be pushed into tower. You have your TP up for it, which is good, but you better get something off of it before you come over. Oh, that's unfortunate. Just a mechanical misplay. You want to, since your 3 is instant, you want to auto her for as long as possible until you see her animation go off. And once you see the animation, then you can 3 her. But auto her as long as possible while you're right next to her so that you can just 3 her for the kill potential once she shields. Just a small mechanical thing, but... I don't really mind the fact that you rotated like that and then use your TP to get back to your lane to defend your tower. But you wouldn't have had to do that if you just pushed the wave even further and just waited. And then looked to rotate. Maybe stole a back camp or done something. I think that's one of the biggest things people can learn as well. This guy, is that just focus on wave prioritization. It's the most important thing in the game. This is pointless trading. Just clear the wave. You have your ult. That's the only thing I would be a little bit scared of here, is that he can go on you because you use your ult and right. Another mechanical thing about the Jingwei is you maybe could have just walked at her and then tried to follow her with your ult. The thing is, Jingwei can get really far away, so probably not. I don't really mind ulting her right away, just seeing if you can get the instant 1 autos into her 3 and killing her. This is just pointless trading though. I mean, you both have 2 physical defense items. Just clear the wave and start making an impact across the map. This is really pointless trading. This is that slow lane damage that everyone talks about. Yeah, exactly the 100. And the thing is, like, maybe the first 2 or 3 times you try trading with them in the 1v2 gank or 1v3 gank, you die, but you're gonna learn really fast and get better at it. So eventually you're gonna be winning those trades, and your teammates will no longer get mad at you because you're gonna be literally winning your team the game. The laning phase is pretty much over. When you guys have that many physical defense items and it's this far in the game, you just need to focus on farm. Clear waves, get blues, proxies, look for back camps, look for mid rotations, look for Gold Fury rotations. And the only time I would look for really committing to a Gold Fury rotation is like you spam attack the Gold Fury after you proxy the wave at the tier 2, and you would walk over to gold and literally pull it right away and just make your team go on it with you because you're so strong and you have so much pressure. Your team is fighting in your own jungle. You guys get a pick. You have a rotation as well. You should call Gold Fury right now. That's one of the biggest things a solo laner can do to win his team the game, is to force Gold Fury rotations. You can tank it for as long as possible. You have Berserkers, 2 physical defense items. You have Sustain. Like, you literally can walk over to gold and just sit there and tank it. Good that you're denying their blue, or their red. Call Gold Fury here. Call Gold Fury here. Call Gold Fury here. This is good too, you're gonna get another pick. But after this, you better be calling Gold Fury. You guys need to get objectives. Nice. Santos got the kill. I'd be calling Gold Fury here. You have 2 picks now. This is their support. Like, you guys will probably get this kill. Yeah, you guys get the kill. Call Gold Fury. Go to gold. Go to gold. Go to gold. Always be looking, when you're rotating, you need to be able to get a lot off of it. And the most important thing you can get is like actual objective. Kills are good too, but get something off those kills. I'd be doing gold here. Gold's been up forever. Unless it's down. Did the enemy do it or something? No way the enemy did it. Achilles hasn't rotated at all, and you've been just fighting people across the map, which is good. And the reason you're able to do that is because you push the wave really far. Now, you've missed a couple waves, but it doesn't matter. Look how many kills and things you're getting off of the rotation. Going pretty hard at this point. You guys are getting kills, which is good. But again, you need to transition it. Got a tier 2, which is good as well. I would say that makes it worth it, but you guys are just like, okay, this is an arena game. This is an arena game. Jingwei's gonna be up in 10. She can fly in. You guys are fighting kind of nonstop. No reason here. Morgan transformation next? Yeah. Is this one of those awkward fights you're talking about? I mean, the only reason that was awkward is because you guys decided to fight near their Phoenix. After you got the tier 2 and got a kill, just back up. Reset and go back over to gold. You have TP up. You have so much gold. Make sure that you're actually buying power spikes with your gold. You focus on kills. It's 20 minutes into the game, and I don't think a Gold Fury has been taken once. Has Gold Fury been up this entire time? I like this build, honestly. I probably wouldn't go it, but it's a fine build. And you're really obnoxious when you go on the enemy backline. You auto attack really fast. So if you fight people in your 1, then it's going to be really hard for them to actually do damage to you. Face him in your 1. This is good. Nice. You guys did Pyro. Gold still up. I would probably have done Gold before I ever did Pyro, but whatever. You guys have good secure with Persephone. Did you call Gold here? I don't think you did. I don't see a VGS of you calling Gold. You should definitely do that so people kind of know. You know, some people don't look at their map. Just really reinforcing it by calling it is nice. I don't use any Geno. I literally wash it. That's it. Thanks for the 9 months though. Which Prime. So your ADC died. I mean, that was kind of your ADC's fault. I don't know if you're playing with your team here or what, but it's you could have called Gold and maybe it would have turned something on his head to be like, okay, maybe I'll walk over to Gold and not fight this guy. Maybe not. Maybe he's just inting. But either way, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. Just tank Gold and sit there. And you guys kind of 50-50'd it because Persephone was in left. I don't know if there's much you could have done about that. Besides maybe really spam attack the Gold Fury and make sure people know. Or, I mean, I don't really mind how you're playing this. I don't know where you're going. I would sit here and fight him. I would kill this Nuwa. I would have ulted. I would have ulted probably already. Ooh, unfortunate. You'll still get the kill though. Yep, good job. I would have sat there and fought them the entire time. Worst case scenario, you get a trade kill 1-for-1, but you do a lot of damage to them and then your team may be able to clean up. Good that you're fighting in your 1 here. That Jingwei didn't kill you and crit you down to fucking 0 HP because you sat and fought in your 1. That's always what you want to be doing on Bellona, especially against the ADCs. Ooh. Oh, nice. Good job. Yeah, I don't really mind how you play that much. Might have been a little bit awkward. I think it's just because you're Persephone and on her kind of trolling. Toxic Blade. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Gonna skip ahead. Thoughts on the build and the way it can improve? I think it's good, to be honest. I like the Toxic Blade. They do have a lot of sustain through Umoja, Jingwei Lifesteal, and Achilles heals, so Toxic Blade is nice. Berserker's Ninja Tabi is the core on Bellona. You want to be building that every game. Next patch, I think that Mystical Mail third item would be pretty good as well. Only thing I've always been a little bit weird on is Shoguns, but honestly, on Bellona and with the way you're building, I think this is fine. You're going to be so tanky when you fight people in your 1 just because you're going to get so many block stacks. So I think this build is good. Depends on what last item you go as well. The only thing I think that's weird about it is that you have beads. I would maybe see beads with like a more damaging build. Maybe if you go like 1 true damage item, then you want beads so that you can survive a little bit better. But honestly, I would have just gone blink here and just blink on them because what this allows you to do, and it also would have gotten you the kill against Xingwei in dueling. Instead of having an ult into a team fight to initiate, you can blink, and then whenever they use their escapes, you can follow them with your ult. So I think that's why it's really good on Bellona. You can blink 1 in someone, sit there and auto them in your 1 with your block stacks, and if they ever use their escape, like say Jingwei 1s and then dashes away, you can ult her and then it'll force her ult. Or if Nuwa ults, then you can follow her with her ult, you know, yada yada yada. That's why blink is so good. Yeah, I'd probably go Mantle last time as well. The thing is, you could just go like straight up, just go like a Stone Cutting or a Kin Size and just go for the more damage. Since you do have a beads, it'll help you survive a little bit better. Plus, with the amount of attack speed that you have and the kind of bruiser build that you're going here, you're actually going to be really hard to kill because if you fight people in your 1, they won't be able to hit you with their auto attacks. Let me go back a little bit. I was talking during that entire thing. Your team's really far pushed up in duo, so they fight them. I would just walk into them. Whoever I see, I would start hitting. Morgan gets out with their invis. The first carry, usually. I want to be looking for their carries, so... Whatever carry you see, I would just go on. Good thing Thantos got on the Morgan. I would be using my one 2 times Morgan has invis in front of you and you haven't used your one to try and cut off a path. If you just catch her in that, she's gonna either have to ult, or use an active, or do something, or maybe even just get a kill because of those things are down. Just use your abilities while they're up if people are near you, you know. I don't mind fighting this. I think you can fight this. You just need to commit. You need to grow some balls. Dash on her. You want to use your dash on her so you can fight her in your 1, not your 3. You'll trade better in your 1. Yeah, so kind of in between here. Once these carries pushed up, you still have your ults up. And who cares if they have to execute for you, who cares? If you start the fight with an ult on like 1 or 2 people that are their carries, Jingwei ult is down. So you see Jingwei ult. They're all 5 right here. I'd be keeping my eye on what they're doing. If they walk back in, I'm ulting them. Okay? They all walk back in. Look at this. They're all 3 right here. You're focused on their tanks. You always want to be going on their backline. And if you see a Jingwei use her ult in front of you and then come back in, you need to pull the trigger. Stop hitting this person. Stop hitting these people in front of you. And ult those people. I don't care if your on her is dead. This is probably a good fight regardless. There's a Morgan right there that you saw, but you're still going on Yamoja. This is not your job. Your job is not to go there on their support. You end up ulting out. That is a very good sign of a bad fight. Or of a sign that you probably misplayed the fight. That if you have to ult out, and so far it's only a 1-for-1, then yeah. You can see the cooldowns? Oh, sure. I didn't know that was a thing. My bad. Yeah, the entire reason that fight went weird is because you kind of didn't do your job. You saw that their carries were in a really bad spot, bad positioning, and not only that, but the Jingwei literally used her only way to live. And you kind of just sat there and were in between. You need to commit to going on their backline, especially on Bellona. Your entire job on Bellona is to go on their backline. Okay, Jaco, that's a little dark, but... yeah, I think that is a problem with a lot of people is that, well, this game it seems like everyone's kind of just focused on kills, but... make sure you're doing your job. Also, I haven't seen you push a solo wave in forever. Again, wave prioritization, man. Just because the tower's dead doesn't mean you shouldn't be pushing the waves. 28 minutes in and you're not even full build. You could probably get a cheap item here. Your build's not that expensive and you're not full build. The reason is you haven't gotten a lot of waves. Just a Buffalo Pizza Camellias. This is weird. Your mage isn't here. You guys are getting gold. Instead of committing to Pyro, just go on their carries. You were hitting that Morgan. Keep hitting her. Whenever she invises, use your one in her direction that you think she went, and your Mystical Mail will get her. That's another thing about Mystical Mail this game is that they have a Morgan, which is obviously the Mystical Mail is really good against because of the invis. Since you bought it, use it. Whenever you see Morgan, go on her. Keep going on her. Make her life miserable. That's your job. Not just her. If you keep doing this thing where you like look around in the middle of a fight, keep your eyes on their carries. Just keep your eyes on them and keep going on them. This Achilles you should not be hitting. Where are their carries? Oh, there are Jingweis all the way back there. Go run at her. Your Thanatos is already doing it, but you should be doing it as well. You should be setting up your Thanatos for kills. This fight is going well just because you guys are pretty far ahead. And it seems like your carries are probably better than their carries, but... you watch my videos? This happened with somebody else I coached. He was playing Zhong. I think it was my boy Lash Client. I forget exactly, but... he literally went blink Zhong, and I never saw him once blink on the enemy backline. He always went on their front line as a solo lane Zhong Kui. And I'm kind of getting the same vibe from this gameplay. Obviously, it's a little bit different. I think you're playing things pretty well. And you're not only going on their front line, but the majority of the time you are. And, you know, that's not what you're supposed to do. You got to think about why you're doing what you're doing as well. Like, you see your build, you know that you're going a bunch of attack speed so that you can trade with their ADC, most likely, or at least hopefully. I mean, it makes sense when you trade with in your 1 or your 3 or anything. You're also getting a little bit more damage, so you can actually kill their backline when you go on them. And what character are you playing? Are you playing Geb? Okay, if you're playing Geb, maybe you can try and peel a little bit more just because your character's meant for that. But you're playing Bellona. Bellona's entire kit is meant to trade with ADCs, so just think about that. Especially when you're building. Because it's really easy to like... It's really easy to like look up a build and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna try this build. It seems good. But if you're trying to create a build or you're trying to think about the reasoning behind a build, it should really go with your playstyle and what you're doing in that game. If you were to build full damage here, like literally like Stone Cutting, Kins, Hasten Fatalis, Atalantis, something stupid like that, your job is going to change. You're not going to be doing the same thing. If you were to build completely full tank, your job is going to change. You know, like, just think about like the reasoning behind your build and what you're going to do with it. In this game, when you have a Mystical Male, to kill their Morgans, to kill their Xingwei because you have auto attack trading with her, you know, all that good stuff. Also, I think you said in the Twitter that this game, like, you guys eventually won and it was stalled out. And the reason it stalled out is because you guys were going for kills way too much and not getting objectives. Because the later the game goes and the more ways that they get, the more items they're going to get, and it's going to be really easy for them to defend. But if you guys had gotten those early Gold Furies and really ramped up that gold lead even sooner than you have now, because it's 31 minutes into the game, that was the first Fire Giant. You'll notice in pro games, most Fire Giants are the first one are at least done by like 18 minutes, 19. Especially if one team has a big lead. The first Gold Fury is way earlier than that, so just try and get objectives off of the kills you're getting, especially with the lead that you have. I'm actually going to end the game here. You guys said that you ended up winning this game. I could tell you how to play these Phoenix Sieges, but the more important thing was that you should have been even further ahead at this point. Just do objectives. Stop focusing on kills. And when you do have to focus on kills because a fight is actually occurring, go on their backline. Don't go on their front line. At least on Bellona, or any warrior that is supposed to dive them.